made the coffee available for me. So the idea is to leverage the fact that we offer multiple data centers which are physically separated in the same region. You can run machines in multiple availability zones, synchronize these machines together, and if one data center has problems, if it fails, if network connectivity goes down, whatever, the other machines in the other availability zone will still be up and running. So basically you can increase the availability of your applications by leveraging this feature. So let me skip this and let me discuss Amazon EC2 a little bit. This is probably one of the most important services that we offer. So EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. With EC2, you can launch servers of different sizes, small, medium, large, extra large, and you can run Linux, Windows, or OpenSolaris on these servers. When these servers are up and running, you can access these servers as a root or administrator. So you have full control of these machines. I want to spend a couple minutes on the concept of Amazon Machine Image. So what happens when you launch a server is that you have to select a disk image to start with. This could be an Amazon official image. This could be a community image. So someone created the image and made it available for you to use. Or maybe just your own images. But you need a disk image to start with. Think of it as the screenshot of a machine in which Linux or Windows are running. You just take the screenshot, take the instantaneous picture of that machine and put it on a disk. That's a disk image. And that's what you use to boot a server. A virtual server has local storage, local memory, and local CPU. But there are two types of AMIs, two types of Amazon Machine Images. One is the EBS-baked AMI, and the other one is the S3-baked AMI. And I want to explain you the difference because it is very important to understand. Before I explain you the difference, I need to explain you what EBS is. How many of you know EBS? Raise your hand. The usual people. Okay. So you know everything basically. Why are you here? Oh, because you want to skip your work. Okay, that's why. Okay, fine. So EBS is a disk drive on the cloud. You can create as many as you want, 1 to 1,000 gigabytes in size, and then you create a file system on top of them, and then you can attach these disks, these volumes, to an Amazon EC2 instance. So what's the difference between the local storage of the instance and one EBS volume attached to the instance? It's the same difference that you see in a normal computer, like this one, with a local storage. This laptop here has a local disk drive, right? That's the local storage. But if I take an external disk and I attach it, for example, using a USB cable, that's the equivalent, roughly, of an EBS volume. So that's the difference. Local storage is just the one that sits in the machine. EBS volumes is this one. But there is another important difference. This is a virtual machine. If I shut it down, the local storage is lost. Because when you release a machine, you release all resources, the CPU, the memory, and the disk. So when you shut down a machine, the local storage goes away. If you shut down the machine, you don't lose the content of an external disk. The content stays. And actually, this disk is also redundant to make it more durable. So what happens when you launch a machine, an EC2 instance? Let's say we start with an Amazon S3 baked instance. Let me go back here. So the second type. We have this Amazon S3. It's a storage on the cloud. This storage contains an AMI. You take, well, you don't do this. We do it for you. We take that file that contains the disk image. We put it on the local storage of the machine. And then we boot up the machine. You can use the machine. You can, for example, update the machine, patch the machine. But if you shut it down, and then you want the machine again later in the future, you're going to take the same disk image and put it in the local disk again. And when it boots up, it doesn't contain the changes that you made the previous time, because it's always starting with this disk image here. So all the updates that you do, they are not automatically sent to the original copy. If you want to update this and then have some way to boot a new machine with the updates installed, you have to create a new AMI, a new Amazon machine image from this running configuration, which would be a second AMI. And then you can use that to boot other machines. So this is a very simple setup. The biggest disadvantage is that when you make changes to this machine, you always have to create new AMIs in order to keep these changes forever. Otherwise, they're lost. Second option is, let me use this BlackBerry. Think that this is a disk drive. Second option is I want to use an EBS volume. Think of this as a disk drive. So I take the AMI from one EBS volume, so one disk, and I copy it to this EBS volume, which is mine. I attach it to this machine, and then this is the root directory for that machine. So the machine boots up from here. If I do any changes, this disk drive will be affected. If I shut down the machine, I wait a few hours and then I launch it again, my changes will still be here because this disk doesn't change. This is an important difference to understand. There are other concepts that you can easily learn on the website, but this is actually a pretty interesting concept that most people found it pretty difficult to learn the first time. So there are these two different types of AMIs that you can use. And this is, of course, the S3 backed AMI. I already explained you this. You need to rebundle the AMI, that's the term, if you want to keep the changes. And then this is the EBS backed AMI. One little drawback is that when you use EBS backed AMI, you also pay for I/O operations to and from the disk. So it might be a little bit more expensive. There are also some automation features for Amazon EC2, auto-scaling, elastic load balancing, or monitoring like CloudWatch. But maybe we'll discuss this later. And now I want to do a small poll here. So I already asked you how many of you use Amazon Web Services. Now let's be more specific. How many use Amazon EC2? Raise your hand. High. So 1, 2, you don't? You do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13. 16 people. So how many in total? 38. So I said 16? 16 out of 38. So 16 people out of 38 use Amazon EC2. Now I want to ask you this, and this is going to be more interesting. So what is the best feature of Amazon EC2? And you have 4 options. I ask you to vote only once. So read these 4 here. Of course, you can vote even if you never used Amazon EC2. Maybe you know something about it. But you have to pick only one of these. Is it scaling, so being able to scale? Is it the price, cheap enough? Is it ease of use? Or is it the fact that you can use Linux or Windows or OpenSolaris? So flexibility in terms of operating system choice. Which one of these 4 options is the most interesting for you? So option 1, scaling, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. 13. Price, raise your hand. Okay. There's a subtle message here. I know what you mean. Okay, I got it. Actually, let me tell you this, that you subscribe to this event, and I think you entered your email, right? Into a form to subscribe. We will send to each one of you a coupon, which means $25 credit for you to use. This is good both for people that already use Amazon or people that want to try it out. So, if you never used Amazon Web Services and you want to try it out, you have to provide a credit card and a mobile phone number. And some people say, I don't want to give you my credit card. But if you use the credit, the first $25 are on us. So you can easily try out AWS without paying from your pocket. For other people that already use it, well, that's a small discount that you can think about. So price, 0. Ease of use. Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and last one is the flexibility of multiple operating system. Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, but now, and this is a small trick I've learned when I was at school. I was the student representative